made sure he never bullied me again. Welcome back to Reddit Chronicles. If you're new here, consider subscribing to help me feed my channel and grow my cat. And if you liked the video, do kindly give it a thumbs up to help me out. Let's get started. This broke the rules at r/pro revenge, so I'ma post it here. It's a short story, but here goes. I was 15 at the time. This dude was 19. Over the course of 2 years, this coont humiliates me, calls me names, questions my sexuality, etc. Makes my life a living hell. My parents came to the school, and he stops. For 2 days. Third day in, he jumps me in the schoolyard, gives me a black eye, and breaks my glasses. My friends who were with me managed to fend him off, but the damage was done. Now instead of going to the teachers, I leave school and wait for him behind a dumpster nearby. As soon as he passes, I broke my skateboard in his back and book it. Cracked 2 of his ribs. School hears this and we both get sent to the principal's office. I tell everything on him, including the skateboard part, so that the prick has no shit on me. School checks cameras and sees him hit me. They call the cops and he is arrested for assault and has to pay for my glasses. I got suspended for 2 weeks. Only saw him in the next year and he avoided me like the plague. Effin' worth it. Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands to fix things permanently. I guess technically in this case, break things permanently. You murdered a friend and tried to ruin my life. Let me help end yours. Includes death. I'm sorry, but this is a little long. It's actually not that long. I tried to summarize the best I could. First post after months lurking. English is not my first language. I'm sorry if there are any errors ahead. I live in a third world country, and the place I used to live at was, and continues to be, a gangs-dominated place. Dick used to bully me, not to great extent, and some other friends. Most of the time he avoided being physical while I was around. I was pretty athletic, purple belt on karate at the age of 14, and practiced a lot of sports in my free time. My mom never liked me to be lazy, and every school break, she would put me in any martial arts/sports class, and I have kicked his ass several times at this point. When Dick turned 16, he entered the gang, and he rose a hate against me because I made everyone lose respect to him, putting him down every time he was bullying someone before. He used to do a lot of the dirty work for the gang, so they used to let him get away with his BS. During the time, he killed one of my closest friends. He was with a girl this mother effer wanted so bad, and then he would constantly look for her and rake her repeatedly. I was full of anger, so much that some other people was asking me why I didn't cry at my friend's funeral. After this, he got really physical towards my friends after school. We used to have a rule at that school, and it was that if people is going to fight, it must be fair. Nobody would interfere unless there is someone else interfering, or one of the parties pulls a weapon. This time, Dick pulled a knife, and in that moment was my chance, and I jumped onto his face, kicking him down, where I proceeded to punch him in the face till someone else pulled me off and told me I was about to kill him. I really wish I could have done that. After that, he was not seen for more than a month. When he got back, he started all his BS again, raking the girl who was going out with my friend before he murdered him, and being a complete a-hole. But this time, he was going after me. He was trying to threaten me with the same knife, and every time I stepped towards, he would run. But then he did it in front of my mom, with a gun. So my mom packed and made us leave that place immediately, and my anger keeps building up. I had to do something about Dick, so I called another friend that used to live right in front of Dick's house. I called him and told him to meet over. Supermarket, where I bought a little and not so crappy camera he could hide and record Dick. Apparently, this guy was giving information to the police in exchange to be left alone and free. So I sent the video, using a disposable email address, to the owner of a cyber coffee that was part of the gang too. The guy was alerted that the gang was going after him, and then hid in his grandma's house. When I realized this, I sent a letter and a DVD copy of the videos to her, and he was kicked out. I found out by some other former classmates that he hanged himself since he had no other place to run. Grisly story. Well, I guess it's SuperNova Revenge for a reason. I got back at my bully in a big way. Hello. I posted this on Pro Revenge first, but it was removed because they didn't think it was feasible. I'm on a phone. I can speak and write English fluently, but it's not my first language. I've posted some entitled parent stories, and in one of them, I shared that an entitled mother spread some nasty rumors about me being a violent sociopath that actually managed to stick due to a prior incident. This is said prior incident. I was 12 years old, and I wasn't at all that tall. I was wide and overweight. I also had one hell of a temper that I had learned to control in a way so that for the most part, I didn't react violently, but I reacted to some things regardless. It meant bullies loved picking on me. At this point, I'd been bullied for years. It started out with classmates during the lower years until my mom got involved and all the parents were made aware of it, and my bullies stopped. Then my first year in the middle grades, 4th to 6th grade, a guy 2 grades up saw me and immediately realized that I was a prime candidate for him getting to feel better about himself. He was as short as me and a complete geek. This guy started out using an old-timey insult for fat people. I had no clue he was trying to bully me. We had similar interests, so I actually thought he was trying to befriend me. This pissed him off a lot, and he went out of his way to make it clear that he was bullying me. Took me a fair bit of time to actually catch on. Over the years, he escalated. He grew in size, he got a following of friends, and they would use almost every recess every single day to follow me and bully me. I had gone to the teachers multiple times. My mom and dad had contacted the principal multiple times. Didn't work. My bullies usually retaliated with getting extra intense and physical too for a while, every time, so I stopped doing it. Snitches get stitches, am I right? Now, my dad was very tired of this happening again and again, so he took me aside and gave me a lesson about defending myself that I shared in my second entitled parent story. He basically gave me a rundown on self-defense, told me explicitly never to start a fight, but it was alright to fight back and to end it. That violence should always be my last choice, etc. I took this to heart. This had been going on for 2 years by now. My mom had contacted the principal again. They were getting physical again. They had courted me, and I tried to get away. They wouldn't let me. I was sick and tired of this, so I looked at him and I said he better stop now, or he would regret it. Bully and his posse of coarse laughs. They don't believe a little fatty can do much. At this point, I am seething. I try to get out again. They push me back, and that's when I explode. I jump on the main bully. He might be bigger than me, but he's still a skinny geek. I get him on the floor and start wailing on his face, and then when he tries to fight back and push me off, I bite his hand so hard, I hear crunching. Meanwhile, his friends are frozen, just staring at me. I also jumped on his chest. In the end, it took 3 teachers to pull me off. This kid had a broken nose, at least 2 broken ribs, a huge gash on his hand from my bite, which honestly could have killed him, you know, germs and all. I was suspended, for a week, but escaped expulsion because these efforts had tormented me for years and the school had failed to stop them. According to what my dad told me, he had used that defense against the school and promised that if they expelled me, he would expose their failure to stop the bullying for years to the media and all the parents. So, yeah, that's the story. And as said, I honestly don't know how much of this is exaggerated, but I got the feeling that the severity of the injuries might be one of the exaggerations. Edit. Thanks for the platinum. I'm very grateful. One thing though, since people keep assuming I'm American and this happened in the US, I'm Danish. This happened in Denmark, not the US. Denmark, the Scandinavian country right above Germany, one of the happiest countries in the world. Yup, just another story where the bully takes it too far and gets what's coming to them. Stab my leg with a pencil? Special Ed has a spot just for you. Edit. This was originally posted on r/pro-revenge, but I was told it should be posted here instead. Some context before we get into the nitty-gritty. I'm very short and innocent looking. A good student that has friends. So whenever I tell this story, the only way I can prove it is the scar on my leg and my second-year friend. This took place in year 9. I go to a school where most kids are considered sophisticated. I get to school early, so we have free time in the morning to do whatever we really want. Me and a close friend, Z, were playing around. He had his 3DS out, and I propped my feet on him because we do this all the time. That's when Ricky came along. More context. Ricky is a student who is a teacher's pet and has no grasp on the emotions of others and loved to snitch on mundane things. At one point, he had picked on my friend who is autistic and in special ed, and she's very paranoid about new people now. Next thing I know, there's a pencil digging into my left ankle. I screamed and Z pushed Ricky away. Blood started to seep and Ricky ran from the scene. The injury wasn't serious, but I honestly hated Ricky. He'd messed with most of my friends and now messed with me. Of course, I reported him to the head principal of the school, and lo and behold, it was on cameras. Not to mention a couple of bystanders, but it didn't stop there. Oh no. This a-hole had messed with the wrong person. I decided to also report to the special ed teacher. We've known each other for a while, so talking to her wasn't abnormal. I told her everything, and she listened closely and nodded when I told her the details. Next day, he wasn't in any of my classes, or the day after that, or the day after that. 2 weeks go by, and nobody had seen this kid. I talked to the special ed teacher, and the topic of Ricky comes up. Apparently, he was placed in a special ed class. I'm not sure how special ed works, but apparently, his parents convinced the school he was mentally unstable and had autism. And when he did this to a small and defenseless young man, everyone realized Ricky was a danger. Seeing him have to be with the same kids he hated felt nice. Z and I still joke about how awful it must have been for him to have to face the same kids he bullied every single day, because to this day, he's still in special ed. TLDR, kid who hates special ed students stabs me with a pencil, so I get him sent to special ed for the rest of his school career. Damn, getting stabbed in the leg with a pencil. Well, the outcome was probably worth it. If you want more where that came from, simply click on one of these boxes right here. And if you liked the video, I assume you did since you're still here, remember to let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And of course, if you haven't already, click my channel icon right here to subscribe and be one of the first viewers for every video I upload. I'll see you in the next episode of Reddit Chronicles.